St. Augustine, Florida, that meant compulsory immersion, learning how to speak, dress, work, and even worship like the rest of society. The prisoners, Comanche, Kiowa, Arapaho, and Cheyenne, including survivors of the 1864 Sand Creek Massacre in Colorado Territory, were transported by train, often very publicly.
They had, in Indiana, there's 10,000 people came to the train to see these wild Indians. It's sort of like the spectacle of it.
Pratt felt the work he was doing was noble. The Native American community feels it was an attempt to blot out an entire culture.
Richard Henry Pratt was always sort of the villain, the figurehead that went along with the boarding schools. Mm-hmm. But the more research I did, looking at some of the policies that the U.S. government was making, there were worse men. And Pratt was working with that context.
Wandering Stars imagines those times and what's happened in the generation since. Most Native people have left reservations and moved into cities. That doesn't mean they left problems behind.
Addiction permeates both books. Why?
It's just been a major force in my life. It's shaped and mangled me in ways that compel me to write about it. I was a boy and our family had just started to feel all right, like we were moving towards something bigger than we'd ever been. There's this tendency to think that there's a weakness in us, that there's a failing on our part. The reason why we don't have a connection is our fault.
Are you comfortable being the spokesperson for Native people?
Not at all. You know, I'm from one tribe.
But you have sort of become that.
Yeah. I mean, I have this position of attention, and I get asked questions on a big stage.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try
to... You don't like it?
I don't feel comfortable assuming that that's what I'm doing.
Orange may not feel comfortable speaking for others, but his work does. With his second book just out, he's already sold a third and has finished a screenplay. All after taking that unusual path to get here.
So how do you go from roller hockey to celebrated writer?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no magic.
No.
Magic to